Hi folks, and welcome back to another craft session. Today we're going to have a go at making some optical illusions. Okay, they're based on the Bridget Riley arts that you might have seen before. I'll just get some pictures up from the 1960s, I think they are. How she did them, I don't know actually, could look into it. But here's one that you can see, it actually looks like it's moving. The circles are moving. And then I think, let's have a look. Oh, whoa. That's, I don't know whether you'd see that one. Oh, let's just have a look. So here's one that we're going to have a go at. Makes your eyes go a bit weird, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to have a go at that one. Just this, it looks like the page is going in, and then this one at the bottom. Now they look complicated, but actually they're quite straightforward, and interestingly enough, unlike art usually where it doesn't have a right or a wrong, these have a right and a wrong, so you can sort of relax into that once you know what you're doing. So we're going to use an A5 piece of paper. Now you could use a colour one. I started doing that on a coloured sheet with a black pen, but we're going to start with white, but you can experiment or use whatever you like. And we're going to create just a border around the outside. So I'm going to lower the camera so you can see what I'm getting up to down here. Okay, we'll need to be a bit further. I think that's okay. Brilliant. So I'm just going to do about 1 centimetre around a piece of paper. Okay. That just gives it a little bit more of a, it's a very professional edge really. And then what we're going to do is, like this one, I'm going to start closer to one edge. So I'm going to start with a circle. So say for example I'm going to start here. I'm going to start with a small circle, don't know if you can see that. And then what I'm going to do is going to keep drawing around it. Now don't worry about them becoming oval shaped or squished circles, that's absolutely fine. Some can be further apart and some can be closer, a bit like the lines inside a tree trunk, I guess. I'll do a wider one there. And we're going to keep going round till we get to the border. I'm going to stop there and pick up this side. Keep going round, and we're going to do the same again. I'm going to do that. You can see that. I'm just going to finish off that corner there and this one here. So hopefully you can see that. There's some circles. And then to create the other line, what we're going to do is going to get our ruler and go back to that little circle that we started with, and we're going to draw a line that hits that little circle in its middle all the way down. Okay. And then we're going to again draw lines either side of that. Some can be really close and thin, others can be a bit wider. That is completely up to you. So you want them sort of staggered as you go along. You don't want them all the same width. And then we're going to go this side. All the way to the end. You can see this. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a black pen. is I'm going to start again in that little circle, and I'm going to colour half of it in, and then I'm going to go the opposite side. So I'm not going to colour the other half in, I'm going to colour the shape beyond it. I don't know whether you can see that. So that's how you start it off. So we shouldn't have a black shape and a white shape that touches, although they will a little bit. Some bits of the circle will a little bit, and that's okay. This black pen's quite chunky actually. Nearing tea time again in my house, so you can hear some cooking going on in the kitchen. So hopefully you get the idea. Now you could use a colour for this, but the idea is to use just one colour. Okay, although I guess you could colour in the opposite one or use a different colour paper, which would save you some time and not mess up the ink, I guess. And you do have to concentrate on this because you end up colouring the wrong bit in. So you do need to start from this point and work out. You can't start at the edge and work in, or think, oh, I'm a bit bored here, so I'm going to go over here. You've got to take it slowly and logically, okay? Like I say, that's a little bit different to how I would normally work on an art project. So if you like your maths as well, this is a good art project. I remember seeing some art pieces at my son's university, Aberystwyth. Some people took degrees that are half maths and half art, and their art pieces, let's just say you could tell they were into maths. So maths and art can go together. Patterns are maths, aren't they? And that's what this is really. It's a pattern that gives an optical illusion and tricks our eyes into thinking something's moving, or there are different shapes there that aren't really there. So you get the idea. Just keep going, and it would make a lovely card, or you could even frame it. Or I had started on a little tag. I think we can see that. Did go a little bit wrong over here. So you could make a little gift tag, even if you got really into it. I'm guessing the more you do it, the faster you will get it. If you're like me though, I'm not so keen on doing the same thing twice. Okay, I've just finished that off, and then I'm going to show you the other one. I think the freezer is eating my husband as we speak. Okay, so you carry on and you will produce something like this, which I think is quite cool. So let's have a go at this one. So again, we need our A5 sheet. Okay, this time I won't, I'll stick to this paper. So we've got our border again, but this time we're going to do lines going in both directions, and the ones going down, so these ones are about the same width apart. Okay, so I'm going to do them a good centimetre and a little bit, that looks like to me. And you could, if you wanted to make sure they were really straight, you could measure, couldn't you, down the sides and join them all up. So I've got some lines going across horizontally, and then what I'm going to do to create this illusion of the paper going in and out is I'm going to start to one side of the paper. I guess you could start in the middle if you wanted to. Actually, should we try that? I'm going to start in the middle, and they need to be really close together when you start, okay? Because that's like the centre of this part that's going in. But then they slowly need to get wider. And I guess this is where the accuracy comes in. And those artists in the 60s would have really gone to town on that. Okay, so can you see I've started really thin lines. Can you see that properly? There, the potatoes being shaken. You all wanted to come round, aren't you, for dinner now? Okay, and I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to start really close together and then begin to widen out the lines. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I'm going to try a different colour this time. I'm going to try a purple, okay, because I started on that purple earlier. So we're going to try and do the same as we did before. We're going to start somewhere in the middle on a tiny strip, and we're going to do shapes that aren't next to each other in the colour of our pen. Now again, you need to start in one area and work out from it. Don't go and then start in the corner as well, because that will go wrong. You can see that. So this is the trickiest part. You could use a ruler on this, but like I say, I still tend to mess it up with a ruler, and the ink from my felt tips gets caught on it. And so you just keep going. It's quite satisfying as you complete it. Okay. You've got logic behind what I'm doing now. Then we'd carry on doing that. Okay, and you'd end up with something like this, or if you want to do it on a coloured sheet of paper, you can do that as well, which is quite cool. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that craft today, that artsiness, and I'll hold it up again. Send us in your photos of your art that you've completed. It'd be brilliant to see it. Take care. Bye.